A shout out right now for noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. So, is investing in silver today a good idea? Well, Colin Plume from our friends at noblegoldinvestment.com, they think so. On the national desk, he explained there have been huge sell-offs of silver because of the low price right now. Silver is the most useful industrial metal out there, and demand for it is soaring for electronics and electric cars and solar panel circuits and on and on and on. The Green New Deal is increasing the need for silver. As industries pick up after the pandemic supply chain issues, the trend now should reverse quickly and silver's prices should skyrocket. So don't miss this. Give the team at noblegoldinvestment.com a call. And that number is 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. If you set up a silver or gold IRA, $20,000 or more, they will send you this stunning 3 ounces of pure silver American Virtue coin. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous collector's item. It's 3 ounces of pure silver. It can be yours for free if you set up, and you do need to look at your 401k or your IRA, your rollover. You need to diversify. You know you do. The stock market most of you, your 401k in the last year has lost 30% of its value. Some of you worse than that. It's time for you to get in control of your own destiny. Put some of your money into silver. And when the price of silver goes up, instead of losing money, you'll be gaining and protecting your value. That's noblegoldinvestment.com.
The U.S. Treasury thwarted a hack by Russians. The U.S. Treasury last month repelled cyber attacks by a pro-Russian hacker group, preventing disruption and confirming the effectiveness of the department's stronger approach to financial system cybersecurity, a U.S. Treasury official said on Tuesday. The Treasury has attributed the disrupted denial of service or DDoS attacks to KillNet, the Russian hacker group that claimed responsibility for disrupting the websites of several U.S. states and airports in October, said Todd Conklin, cybersecurity counselor to Deputy Treasury Secretary Wally Ademo. The incident, not previously reported, occurred a couple of days before similar attacks from KillNet on U.S. financial services firms. Conklin told a financial services industry and regulator conference on cybersecurity. Conklin described the attack on the Treasury as, quote, pretty low-level DDoS activity targeting Treasury's critical infrastructure nodes. Ademo told the conference the incident was, quote, a stark reminder that Treasury and financial service firms face the same threats, especially since Russia launched its war in Ukraine back in February of this year. Police say the Pelosi suspect wanted to break the speaker's knees. The man accused of attacking House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer told police he wanted to hold the Democratic leader hostage and, quote, break her kneecaps to show other members of Congress there were, quote, consequences to actions, authorities said on Monday. In a chilling federal complaint, officials say that David DePape, 42, was carrying zip ties, tape, and rope in a backpack. He then broke into the couple's San Francisco home early Friday morning, went upstairs where 82-year-old Paul Pelosi was sleeping, and demanded to talk to Nancy. Quote, this house and the speaker herself were specifically targets, the San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins said at a Monday evening news conference announcing state charges against DePape, including attempted murder. Quote, this was politically motivated, Jenkins said. She implored the public to, quote, watch the words that we say and to turn down the volume of our political rhetoric. Investigators are believing that DePape had been researching in advance to target Pelosi. Jenkins said that in an interview with the Associated Press. Brazil protesters block roads and the airport as Bolsonaro stays silent. Protests by backers of Jair Bolsonaro, led by truck drivers, have spread across the country as the Brazilian president remains silent over his loss in Sunday's election, so far refusing to concede defeat to his foe, Lula da Silva. Supporters of the firebrand president, unhappy with the election result, blocked more than 200 roads across more than a dozen states and the capital, and they also restricted access to Sao Paulo International Airport, forcing the cancellation of 25 flights. The protest also prompted the Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes to order the federal highway police to clear the blockades and issue fines. Bolsonaro has so far refused to make any public comments after losing the presidential runoff to Lula da Silva by less than 2 percentage points, the narrowest margin for a presidential election in the country's modern history. Pressure is building from some allies for him to say something to de-escalate the rising tension, and his communications minister Fabio Faria said late Monday that he will speak today. Bolsonaro is meeting with the heads of the Navy and the Air Force at the presidential palace on Tuesday morning, in addition to the ministers of Defense, Justice, and Public Security. Brazil's far-right president Jair Bolsonaro is expected to speak in the coming hours, breaking the silence he has maintained since being defeated in Sunday's presidential election. Justice Roberts delays handover of Trump tax returns to House panel. Chief Justice John Roberts on Tuesday put a temporary hold on the handover of former President Donald Trump's tax returns to a congressional committee. Roberts' order gives the Supreme Court time to weigh the legal issues in Trump's emergency appeal to the High Court filed on Monday. Without court intervention, the tax returns could have been provided as early as Tuesday by the Treasury Department to the Democratic-controlled House Ways and Means Committee. Roberts gave the committee until November the 10th to respond. The Chief Justice handles emergency appeals from the nation's capital, where the fight over Trump's taxes has been ongoing since 2019. Lower courts ruled that the committee has broad authority to obtain tax returns and rejected Trump's claims that it was overstepping. The temporary delay imposed by Roberts is the third such order issued by justices in recent days in cases related to the former president. Inflation soars over 300% in Venezuela and blow to Maduro. Inflation is roaring back in Venezuela, threatening to undermine the fragile economic recovery carefully orchestrated by socialist President Nicolas Maduro and rekindle a migration wave that had just begun to kind of somewhat ease. Prices have soared at an annual rate of 359% over the past 3 months, according to an index compiled by Bloomberg. And while that's well down from the wildest hyperinflationary highs of recent years, the index clocked in around 300,000% back in 2019. It's up markedly from earlier this year. The spike in prices reveals an important policy shift by Maduro. After years of reining in spending and cutting a bloated budget deficit, the government is loosening the purse strings again, shelling out cash for everything from holiday bonuses to handouts for Socialist Party loyalists. All that additional cash in the economy is fueling declines in the bolivar's value against the dollar and driving consumer prices higher.